Good morning, okay, brothers and sisters. No, you are already on the last leg on your preparation for the board exam. Okay, you have been preparing for the last 4 or 5 years and the undergrad. Tapos ngayon in the review, we are almost done. Okay, and the board exam is just around the corner. Okay, so ngayon it's natural for you to like have some doubts about your preparation in the board exam. Pero ako, masasabi ko lang, hindi naman totoo na ikaw ay walang alam or kokonti lang alam mo. No? So, the results of the pre-board, at least as far as taxation is concerned, is not truly a reflection, no, na na wala kang alam sa taxation. So, nandito tayo basically to assure you that more or less ikaw ay maraming baon in the coming board exam. And I'll show you why. Okay, so the purpose here, yung ating ginagawa dito is practically hindi tayo katulad ng ibang RC na magdi-discuss no ng mga question and answers about that's what they do. Okay? And probably some of my colleagues also here in the review center. Pero ako, ever since I became a reviewer, kapag mga ganitong board exam, okay, what I do is I prepare a pre-week lecture. Okay, it's a note, basically, which you can use, no, to be reminded of the basic concepts, mga rules and applications about taxation. So effectively, our agenda for today is just, to remind you yung mga bagay na inaral mo at yan ay itinuro sa iyo and somehow, okay, again, I'm just being here, no, my presence here is to just assure you na ikaw ay more or less ready for the board exam, at least on the taxation side. Okay, so what we will do is to have a rundown of all the topics. Kaya nga yung pre-week lecture notes natin na to, ito ay magiging baon mo sa board exam. Basahin mo lang siya, medyo mahaba to. Keep on reading it. The first time that you read it, medyo mahaba. Probably it will take you an hour or two. Okay? Second time you read it, pangalawang basa, magiging shorter na siya. So more on recall lang tayo rito. Okay, so let's start. So, ano ba meron dito sa taxation? Of course, mga kapatid, suking-suki sa board exam to. Alin yung suki? Yung general principles in taxation. Okay, if the table of specifications, TOS, around expectation natin dito 9 questions will be asked in the board exam. Never pang nawala ng questions about general principles. So, kaya ito, even in our review proper, pinagka-accent general principles. Okay, you're supposed to know already, basic na ito sa iyo, what is the meaning of tax and taxation. When you talk about tax, of course, it's about enforced proportionate contribution. So enforced is the keyword there, which means meaning whether you like it or not, you're supposed to pay so long as you're liable. Okay, when we say tax, it's about sum of money, it is an involuntary fee. Why involuntary? Kasi nga, enforced ito. When you say taxation naman, as the term suggests, no, the word changed already. So when we say taxation, it is a power actually, kaya nga power of taxation yan. And that power can be an inherent power. And sometimes we call it destructive power. Bakit destructive power? Kasi nga it is the way by which the government gets a part of your income. Okay, so whether you like it or not, meron siyang kaparte ang gobyerno natin dito. Bakit? Benefit receipt theory at saka life flood doctrine yan. So when you say taxation also, it means a process, means system, method, practice of collecting money. So yan ang definition ng taxation. Tandaan mo ang elements of a valid tax. So meaning, pag sinabi nating elements of a valid tax, how can a law become valid? Okay, dapat, of course, it will not violate the inherent constitutional limitations. Kasi pag violate ang constitution natin, unconstitutional yan. Kaya hindi magiging valid ang law. Kapag naman inherent, of course, ito ay mga likas na limitasyon, no, in the exercise of the power of taxation. So yung mga inherent limitations dapat territorial to, kapag na-violate yan, hindi valid ang law. So parang ganun lang yan. Okay, of course, ang for a tax law to be valid, kailangan gagamitin ng buwis for public purpose, cannot be used for private. Okay, kailangan proportionate in character. O pag tinanong ka hanggang saan ang proportionate in character natin, 35%. Bakit 35%? Kaya nga that's the highest tax rate natin for individual taxpayer. 'Di ba? Yung sa graduated tax rate natin. So that's as far as proportionate can get, no, as far as Philippine setting is concerned. Oh, para maging valid ang batas, sino dapat ang nag-levy niyan? Natural, legislative body. So if a tax law has been if there's a tax law and there's a levy therein, and it was not made by Congress, anong meron doon? Invalid yung law. Okay? Meron ngang batas pero hindi uniform ang application. Okay, namimili. Okay, ang tinax lang yung team kadiliman. Aba, hindi pwede yan. Kailangan team kasamaan din. Pare-parehas tayo dito. Okay, tapos dapat ang ating tax law should be equitable. Kailangan yan ay makatarungan. Pag hindi makatarungan yan, excessive, sobra-sobra, oppressive. Confiscatory, lahat na lang kinuha ng gobyerno. Aba, hindi pwede. Hindi rin pwede maging discriminatory yan. Okay, kasi nga, it will violate basically the Constitution also. Okay, kasi meron tayong equal protection of the law. Tapos, generally payable in money. So, yun lang ano dyan, general rule. Yung iba, puro must na. Ibig sabihin, we have to follow para yan ay maging valid law. Okay, bakit ba tayo nangongolekta ng tax? Purposes of taxation? Aba, primarily to earn revenue. Kaya nga fiscal ang purpose niyan, revenue ang purpose. Pag sinabing revenue or fiscal purpose, basically the purpose is to earn money. Okay? So minsan tayo ay nag-impose ng tax, levying of tax, not to collect money. So kapag hindi raising of revenue ang purpose, secondary na 'yan. Bakit tayo nangongolekta minsan? Ayan, no, to regulate. Okay, protection of local industry, sakto-sakto ito. Nangyayaring trade war in the US, di ba? Oh, how does this apply? Para hindi mag-flood ng foreign products dito, imported products, anong gagawin natin? Eh di mag-impose tayo ng tariff. And tariff is a form of taxation. So kung meron tayong tariff dito, not everyone can actually sell their products here unless they paid the necessary tariff. Okay, so bakit may ganyan? Again, to protect local industries. Okay, minsan nangongolekta tayo to compensate, compensatory ang tawag doon. Okay, minsan special ang dahilan, sumptuary or special ang that's the purpose. Okay, theories and doctrines, ito laging suki ito sa board exam. Lifeblood theory. Okay, tax is indispensable, hindi pwedeng mawala. Kapag yan ay nawala, di walang gobyerno. Okay, kaya nga sometimes it's called also necessity theory. Because why? Tax is a necessity, without which no government is expected to exist. That is the theory behind taxation. Kaya nga ano yung LT nakikita mo? L is for lifeblood, T is for theory of taxation. That's actually the key, in trying to not mix up the two theories. Lifeblood, theory of taxation yan. Kaya meron tayong ganyan. Now, meron tayong tinatawag benefit receipt theory or benefits protection theory or reciprocity theory. Ang taxpayer, ikaw at saka ako, kung ang gobyerno, meron tayong equivalent reciprocal duty. Ako, gobyerno, nandyan ako para pangalagaan ka, proteksyonan ka, pagsilbihan ka. Ikaw naman, anong kapalit? Di magbayad ka ng buwis. Okay, it's like that. If you're the taxpayer paying the tax, ako naman, anong gagawin ko? Alam ko naman, tanggap-tanggap ako. Suklihan ko ng serbisyo, yung pagbabayad ng buwis. Yan ang benefits received, benefits protection, and reciprocity theory. Now, it's also called basis of taxation. Meaning, what is the basis of taxation? If that is, as in the board exam, it pertains to benefit. Kaya nga, BB, benefit received, at saka basis of taxation. Lifeblood theory tayo. Okay, theory of taxation. That's what I mean. Okay, meron din tayong tinatawag na doctrine of symbiotic relationship. Okay, it's like Practically the same with benefits receipt theory. Okay, tapos meron tayong Marshall Doctrine, power to destroy ito, tapos si Holmes naman not power to destroy. Okay, so long as na ginamit mo ng tama yung kapangyarihan, there's no power to destroy. That's what Holmes Doctrine is about. Now, alam mo na ang gobyerno meron siyang inherent powers. Ano nga yung ng Estado? Alin tong tatlo na to? Power taxation. Okay, imagine if the power taxation is not inherent, hindi tayo pwedeng ma-compel to pay the tax. Okay, tapos police power naman, promotion of general welfare. This is okay, pag alimbawa bawal magtapon ng basura, pag nagtapon ka may penalty ka. Oh, yan ang police power, promotion of general welfare. Bawal kumanta ng gabi. Bakit? Magpapahinga ng mga tao pag kumanta ka, may ordinansa, pinagbawal, may penalty ka. Movement. Tapos naman, power of eminent domain, again, it is an inherent power. Okay, this is the power of the government to take private property. Okay, for public use. And of course, para maging equal ito, then based on zonal value or assessor's fair market value yan. Now, tignan mo yung note natin, Right of Way Act. Anong ibig sabihin nito? In the Right of Way Act, meaning it's a law, okay, wherein the government is engaged in a national government project. National government to, ha? Example, yung gagawa tayo ng railway track from Luzon up to, let's say, Mindanao. Okay, national government project yan. Anong meron dyan? Nakalagay sa right-of-way law na if the government is required to provide negotiated sale. How does this apply? Okay, ang gobyerno shall offer to the owner what? Compensation price. Iyan ba yung just compensation sa taas kanina? The answer is yes, practically the same. Okay, pero ang pagkakaiba ito. Okay? The compensation price comprised of fair market value of the land plus replacement cost. So halimbawa, yung tinamaan ng railway project, yung bahay at lupa mo. Yung replacement ng bagong bahay mo. Kung halimbawa, lilipat ka pagpapagawa yung panibagong bahay mo, yun ang replacement cost na kailangan bayaran ng gobyerno. Okay, kung yan ay income producing, kasama din yung fair market value of the revenue as part of the compensation price. Yan ang ibig sabihin. Now, ano pagkakaiba ng power of eminent domain? Not the right of way act. Kapag power of eminent domain, ikaw ay individual or ikaw ay non-individual, magbabayad ka pa rin ng capital gains tax or creditable withholding tax depending on the property. So halimbawa, your asset is a capital asset, kinuha ng gobyerno yan. Power of eminent domain, gagamitin for public purpose. As the seller, involuntary, okay, you're supposed to pay the capital gains tax. Kung ordinary asset yan, magkakaltas dyan ng creditable withholding tax. Pero kapag right of way yan, national government project, libre sa capital gains tax at saka documentary stamp tax. So that's the difference between the two. Now, as regards to real property tax, kailangan mo pa rin bayaran yan. Ano ka? Hello, gobyerno pa magbabayad yan. So parang ganun lang yan. Okay, scope of power taxation, very easy. Caps lang to. Ayan, nilagay na natin ng mga colors, yung inyong mga handouts dito. Okay, comprehensive, unlimited, plenary, supreme. Tinanong na dati yan, no? The following are the scopes of the power taxation except. So kung hindi caps yun na yung sagot. Okay, number 7, discretion of taxing power. Again, who exercises taxing power? It is the legislative department. So, which means these are the powers of the legislative department comprising of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Ayan, no? Silang meron kapangyarihan to determine what kind of tax to impose. Sino ang ita-tax, anong dahilan, etc. etc. Yan lahat ang kanilang kapangyarihan. Now, ito, assessment and collection, part of administrative executive function yan. Meaning, when a law has been enacted already by Congress, dito na papasok, no? Yung assessment and collection. Kaya nga meron tayong aspects of taxation, di ba? Levy muna, legislative function yan, and then assessment and then collection. So, yun ang administrative function. So, which means, hindi yan parte ng trabaho ng Kongreso yung mangolekta. Natural, BIR yan eh. Okay, eto. Kung mapapansin nyo, and I'm sure you notice this, no? If you have been reading some materials, no, from other review centers, you'll notice na wala silang ganito, yung how a tax bill becomes a law. I don't know why. Kung meron man, very good. Kung wala, okay, I don't know why. Now, this is part of the CPA syllabus. Nakalagay doon, paano bang maging batas ang isang batas? Okay, so discuss natin very quickly. Pag sinabing bill, tax bill, it means a proposal. Sino nagpo-propose nito? Di mambabatas. Pag tax ang pinag-uusapan, it has to originate in the House of Representatives. Bakit? Bakit? Kasi constitutional limitation yan. Bakit House of Representatives? Kasi tayo yung mga tao na bubuwisan and we are being represented by a member of the House of Representatives, yung ating mga congressman na binoboto. So ngayon, kung sila nag-propose niyan, it's as if okay sa ating mga nasasakupan niya. Yan ang reason dyan. Now, remember, we have a bicameral conference. Na bicameral ang ating composition ng Legislative Department. So, House of Representatives and the Senate. So, if a tax law or bill has been proposed in the House of Representatives, for it to become a law, kailangan merong counterpart sa Senado. Okay? Kasi di magiging batas yan pag isa lang ang nangibabaw dyan. Okay, now let's go to the requirements. Okay? Under the Constitution, kailangan ang isang batas ay dumaan sa three reading rule. Okay? Hindi magiging batas ang isang batas kung hindi dadaan yan dyan. So, anong meron dito? Okay, let's say a bill has been proposed in the House of Representatives. So, anong tawag doon? House Bill. Okay, so dadaan to ng first, second, and third reading. So, ano yung first reading? Simply, it's the reading of the title, the number, and who introduced it, the author, and it will be referred to appropriate committee. Kung tax yan, Ways and Means yan. So, which means, if the bill has been referred to the Committee on Ways and Means, magkakaroon ng hearing, magkakaroon ng committee report. Ibig sabihin, ito yung pinag-usapan na sa committee. Magbobotohan ng mga miyembro ngayon. Kapag pumasa yan, dadaan na yan sa second reading. Okay, kanina, committee members lang ang nag-usap-usap. Sa second reading, ang mag-uusap na yung lahat ng members na. So, will be debates here by any or all members of the House of Representatives. Tapos, kapag katapos na ng debate, magbobotohan na ang lahat. Kanina, miyembro lamang ng committee ang nagbotohan. Ngayon, since second reading, okay, na to. Pag na-approve na yan, okay, yung final draft, dadaan sa third reading. Tapos, magbobotohan ulit ang mga miyembro. Okay, pag na-approve yan, ipapadala yan sa Senado. So, pag pinadala yan sa Senado, pwede or pwedeng meron silang separate version. So, kung merong separate version, dadaan sa first reading ito. Okay, so magko-committee hearing, magkakaroon ng committee report ang committee after hearing, and then it will same lang ng process sa House of Representatives. Pagkatapos ma-approve ng committee members, dadaan sa second reading ito. Okay, so which means all the members of the Senate will discuss, deliberate, debate on the bill. Senate bill na yan. And then it will be approved finally by the members. All members to. So, paano pag hindi ni-approve? Wala na, patay na yung bill. Okay, pag na-approve, ano mangyayari? Dadaan na sa third reading yung final version kasi nga nagkaroon ng debate, di ba? So, yung final version, ayun, pagbobotohan, pag na-approve na yan, ipapadala sa House of Representatives naman. Papakita ito yung version namin o itinatapos namin. Parang ganun yan. So, ngayon, anong meron? Kung merong conflict ang dalawang bills, House version and the Senate version, i-consolidate yan. Paano i-consolidate yan? The House of Representatives will elect members. Sino yung papadala sa tinatawag na BICAM, Bicameral Conference Committee? Committee ito. Ganon din ang Senado. Sino papadala natin sa committee? BICAM Conference. Kasi ito yung mga miyembro ng House of Representatives, ito yung mga miyembro ng Senado, uupo ang lahat ng ito, yung mga inelect nila, appointed nila na uupo sa Bicameral Conference Committee. Anong trabaho nito? I-consolidate ang dalawang bills. Okay, 'pag na-consolidate na, ibabalik yan sa House of Representatives. Bakit? Kailangan i-approve. Ipapadala rin sa Senate yan. Bakit? Parang nag-report ang BICAM, ito na po yung aming ano, napagkaisahan. Eh di 'pag na-approve na yan, anong mangyayari? Eto na yan, ipapadala na yan kay presidente. Ano puwedeng gawin ng presidente? Eh di puwede niyang pirmahan kung gusto niya. Eh di magiging batas yan after publication. O kaya ayun, hindi niya pirmahan yan. Pero it can become a law if, after the lapse of the 30-day period. Ang tawag diyan lapses into law. Okay, just like in number 1, magiging batas lang din 'yan after publication. So, bakit kailangan ng publication? Kasi nga batas 'to, kailangan ma-notify yung mga, taxpayers. Okay, or kung ayaw ng presidente sa batas na 'yan, puwede niya sabihin, "Basura naman 'tong ginawa niyong batas na 'to." Eh, di ivi-veto niya. Okay, ang veto puwedeng line item lang. 'Pag sinabing line item, specific provision ang ayaw niya o kaya totally outright. Eh, sir, what's the difference between the two? Kapag line item lang yan, halimbawa, there are 30 provisions in the tax bill approved by the BICAM. Pagkatapos sabi niya itong dalawa na 'to parang hindi yata ako pabor. Okay, so ngayon puwede niyang tanggalin 'yon, valid pa rin 'yung magiging batas. Pero 'pag tinotally veto niya 'yung buong buong bill, anong mangyayari? Ibabalik niya 'yan sa Kongreso, House of Representatives and the Senate. Okay, with the veto message. And as part of our checks and balances, pwede namang i-override yan ng Congress, no? Magbobotohan sila separately, ang House of Representatives and the Senate. Sabihin nila, mali ang presidente. Okay? So, 2/3 vote ang kailangan to override the veto of the president. Okay, ano yung requirement? Ayan, generally, laws take effect 15 days after publication. So, pag sinabing general, general lang yan. So, does it mean hindi lahat ng batas ay napapublish? The answer is yes. Pero kapag may mga rules, requirements, kailangan merong publication. Okay, now, punta naman tayo dito, aspects, phases. Okay, process of taxation. Ang keyword natin dyan, lock. There must be levy muna. Dapat meron munang batas na nagsasabing taxable tayo para tayo magbayad. Kapag meron ng batas, there's already a position. Dito na papasok ang administrative. Okay, executive department. Anong meron? Kapag meron ng batas imposing tax, the BIR can already make an assessment. Okay, mag-issue ng FLD fund para makolekta and thereafter pwedeng mag-collect na, natural. Okay, o principles of sound tax system, Diyos ko, alam na alam mo na 'to, FAT. Fiscal adequacy, sapat dapat ang pera. Administrative feasibility, ito lahat ng ginagawa ng BIR or ng ating gobyerno sa pagpapagaan ng pagbabayad ng buwis, administrative feasibility yan. Ginawa, EOPT, filing of return can be anywhere. Administrative feasibility. Okay? Theoretical justice naman, tinitignan ang kakayanan ng taxpayer na magbayad. Kaya nga, kapag 250,000 and below ang binayaran mo, exempt ka. Kaya nga kapag more than 8 million ang ini-income mo, 35% ng tax mo. O di ba? Kino-consider ang taxpayer's ability to pay. Kaya nga, EOPT, kapag micro and small taxpayer ka, ang surcharge mo lang 10%. Oh, diba? Pag hindi ka micro or small, 25%. Parang ganun yan. Limitations on power of taxation, natural, hindi absolute ang power of taxation. Okay, so meron dalawang limitations dito, inherent at saka constitutional. Yung inherent, madaling tandaan, 5 lang to. Okay, so tip end, dapat Congress has to consider our territory when it comes to the levying of the tax. Alangan naman pwede nating i-tax ang Amerika dyan. International Committee, our relationship with foreign countries. Okay, we consider that under public international law. Pwede ba nating i-tax ang Japan dahil mayaman siya? Hindi. Okay, kailangan ng buwis gagamitin for public purpose. Bakit? Di ba nabanggit na natin kanina, elements of a valid tax, kailangan ang buwis magagamit for public purpose. So which means, even if Congress will intend for a separate use of the utilization of the money, hindi pwede. Bakit? Inherent limitation yan eh. Exemption of the government from taxation, natural. Ikaw yung nagbubuwis, gusto mo. Obligation of the power of taxation. Kongreso ang merong kapangyarihan nito, it cannot be delegated. Pero sa create law, binigyan ng power of, ang presidente para mag-exempt, no? But anyway, pabayaan mo na. Basta ang inherent limitation, Congress cannot delegate the local government unit kasi nakalagay yan sa Constitution. Okay? So, ito naman ang constitutional limitation natin. Kaya nga tinawag na constitutional limitation eh. Galing yan sa Constitution. So, anong meron dyan? Pag due process ang pinag-uusapan, notice pwede magbayad ka agad ng mga tax, eh, kailangan meron mo ng notice. Ano yung notice? Merong LOA, merong NOD fund, FLD fund, that's the assessment notice. And you are also given the remedy, no? What's that remedy? Pwede ka mag mo. May equal protection of the law. Diyos ko po. Okay, napakasimple nito. Application of the same rules. Okay, so anong sabi natin kanina? Anong sabi natin kanina? Ah, kailangan pantay-pantay ang application ng batas. Hindi porke nag-aaway yung dalawang team, kadiliman team kasamaan, eh, kung yung isa lang yung ibubuwis, hindi pwede. Damay-damay lahat tayo dito. Okay, situs of taxation, alam mo na to, place of taxation yan. In relation to sources of income. Okay, pag-usapan natin mamaya. Ay, paboritong tanong din to ng BOA. Double taxation. Kasi bakit? Eh, kasi entry-level skill to eh. O meron dalawang uri. Meron tayong tinatawag na direct double. Direct duplicate din yan or taxation in strict sense. Pare-parehas ang meaning yan. Anong meron dyan? Pag direct double, lahat ng 5 na yan na elements present. Ano yan? 3 T at saka 2 P. Pag same taxpayer, same tax type, same taxing authority, okay, same purpose, same period, lahat yan present. Aba, direct double yan. Highly disfavored in law. Bawal ba yan? Sir, mayroong batas na nagsasabi expressly na bawal yan? Wala. Pero highly disfavored in law. Bakit? Napaka-unfair naman kay taxpayer kung sisingilin ka na 2 beses for the same income, di ba, ng tax. O ngayon, kapag meron namang kulang sa element na yan, okay, halimbawa, nagkaiba ng object, ibang taxpayer na. O, inaudit ni BIR ang corporation, tapos inaudit din yung mga shareholder. Aba, magkaibang taxpayer, dalawa na yan. Direct, indirect double yan. Okay? In-assess ng income tax nung isang taon, tapos i-assess ng VAT naman. Aba, indirect yan. Okay, magkaiba ng taxing authority, BIR yung nag-audit na isa, yung isang local gov. Ay, indirect yan. Okay, different purpose, basta. Tapos different period, natural naman. Okay, halimbawa, in-audit ka na 2024, 2023. Tapos i-audit ka lang 2024. Aba, okay lang yan. Bakit? Indirect double yan eh. Allowed yan. Okay, so elimination. Paano ba maging hindi masyadong maramdaman ni taxpayer yung double taxation? Eto, okay, there are ways by which the double taxation, the impact, no, can be lessened. How? Ayan, pwedeng mag-usap yung dalawang bansa. Treaty. Exempt nila yung income ng kanilang mga citizens. Ito ang uso. Credit method. Okay, yung binayaran sa foreign country, tax credit siya. Ganon din yung ibang bansa na ginagawa nila. Or, eto, sparing. Tax sparing rule or deemed paid rule. Aba, naalala mo yung dividends natin, final tax on non-resident foreign corporation, general rule, 25% ng rate. Ano yung exception? Pwede maging 15%. Kailan? Kapag merong tax deemed paid rule. So, ano yung, paano nga ulit yung tax deemed paid rule? Halimbawa, isang foreign corporation based sa Amerika, nag-earn ng dividends dito. Eh di sa Amerika din, meron silang tax sparing rule. Ang domestic corporation natin dito, halimbawa, San Miguel Corporation, nag-earn ng dividends doon. In-apply nila yung tax deemed paid rule. Meaning, they assume 10% has been paid already. Aba, tayo rin. Kaya kung 25% ang general rate natin, ina-apply natin yung 15%. Bakit? We assume deemed paid yung 10%. Yan yung application niya. Eh di, nabawasan ng buwis na babayaran instead of 25, naging 15. Yan yun. Na-eliminate ang double taxation or na at least na lessen. Or ito naman, hindi masyadong common sa ating settings, no? Kasi mas mataas ang tax rate natin compared to other country, yung most favored nation clause. Okay, so itong most favored nation clause, kailangan dito ng tax treaty relief application. Okay? O, paano ba tayo makakatakas sa buwis? Ayan. O, tax evasion. Ghost receipts, di ba? Raft. Run after fake transactions. Ayan na. Yung mga fake transactions na may bibili ka ng peke resibo, tax evasion yan. Hindi ka nag-i-issue ng resibo, tax evasion yan. Hindi ka nag-register, tax evasion yan. Hindi ka nagbabayad ng estate tax. Ilang taon na? Tax evasion din yan. Hindi ka pa nagpapile ng returns. Ilang taon na? Tax evasion yan. O, shifting, alam mo na to. Parang VAT. Capitalization, wala na kasi tayong properly accumulated earnings tax kaya hindi na masyadong relevant yan. Avoidance, nagtitingin ka ng butas may butas ng batas, in-apply mo yun, you took advantage. Example, wala kang alam mo, in your practice, I am a seller of service and then wala akong mga inventories, edi wala kang source ng input. Anong gagawin? I mean, wala kang mga resibong masyadong gastos, edi mag-OSD ka, mag 8% ka. Doon ka makakatipid tax avoidance yun. Allowed yan. Transformation naman, bayan mo na yan. Exemption, ito yung parang sa create law at saka create more, no? You availed the fiscal incentives being offered by the state. Nag-invest ka. So, ayan, income tax holiday. Kaya nga income tax holiday, di ka magbabayad ng buwis. Okay, ngayon, number 16. Paano ba natin interpret yung batas? Kapag maliwanag, apply lang natin yan. Walang interpretation. Pero kapag malabo, iisipin mo, malabo yung batas. Kung ikaw yung taxpayer, hindi nga sure yung batas, alam naman taxable ka. Kaya, anong sabi? Liberally in favor of the taxpayer and against the taxing authority. Kaya nga yan ang isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit services. Bakit? Wala sa tax code yung taxation of digital services Okay, ngayon meron ng batas, maliwanag na. Kaya doon tayo sa una. Okay, pero nung wala pa, alam ng BIA matatalo sila. Kaya they went to Congress. Against taxpayer, bakit hindi pabor sa mga taxpayer? Kasi if you're claiming exemption, hindi ka magbabayad ng buwis, di lugi gobyerno. Kaya nga, mahigpit ang interpretation. Same with deductions. Magkiklaim ka ng deduction, di tataas ang expense mo, di bababa yung taxable income, ang mga revenue officers, kahit na sobrang taas nilang mag-assess, especially for those who are working already, you know what I mean, no? Dang-dang million ang kanilang mga assessments dyan, valid pa rin yan. Bakit? They enjoy presumption of regularity. Pero, kung meron kang ebidensya, no, proving that they are merely there to harass you, that's not regular. Okay, income tax systems, merong lumabas na tanong dito sa board exam. Okay, tatlo lang to, global or worldwide. Kaya nga global or worldwide, lahat ng income, isa lang ang taxation. Napakasimple nito. Okay, scheduler naman. Titignan muna, ang setting na to, parang halimbawa, pwedeng gross income tax to, walang deduction, or net income tax, merong deduction. Okay, so bahala yung state dito kung anong pipiliin niya. Tayo, tayo, ano tayo theoretical justice tayo we look at the taxpayer's ability to pay ayan no. Kaya nga tinatax natin ang income depende kung anong klaseng income yan. Ordinary income ba yan? Regular tax yan. Passive income ba yan? Final tax yan. Capital gains tax ba yan? Capital gains ba yan? CGT yan. So ganyan ang ginagawa natin. Merong mga net income taxation tayo, taxable income. Meron din gross income tax, yung mga PESA registered enterprises na subject sa 5%. Okay, so semi-schedular or semi-global tayo. Nature of Philippine tax laws, alam mo naman to, civil, not penal, not criminal. Hindi ka makukulong kung halimbawa hindi ka nakapag-file ng return. Okay, hindi ka matatawag na criminal kung sakasakali. Pero if you are a tax evader, of course, penal yon. Kailangan makulong ka. And you are also a criminal. Bakit? You violated the provision of the tax code. Okay, so classification of taxes, isa pa tong suki sa BOA, sa board exam. As to authority, sino ba yung merong power? Okay, di national. Ano yan? Okay, yung 5 peso, Yan ang ating mga tinatawag na all internal revenue taxes. Donors, ito tignan mo. Donors, income, VAT, excise, percentage, estate tax, documentary, stamp tax, and other taxes that may be imposed. Bakit hindi ko na lang ginawang DST pala yung S, no? Pangit naman kung pedo. Okay, so anyway, dahil peso tayo. Yung isa naman, local. Di yung power authority is with the local government unit. It can be the province, city, municipality, or the barangay. Anong dahilan ba tayo nangongolekta? Yung P is for purpose. Ayan, fiscal, regulatory, sumptuary. Fiscal is primary purpose yan, raising revenue. Regulatory to regulate yan. Police power yan. Special, sumptuary, compensatory, special ang purpose. As to subject matter, SM yun. Okay, ibig sabihin, ano ba yung pwedeng i-tax dyan? The personal polar capitation, individual taxpayer ito, residing in a community. Kapag property tax naman, example nito, real property tax, real property tinatax. Okay, excise tax naman, for your information. Yung ibang authors kasi, again, no, ang gamit lang nila, pinag-isa ang ibig sabihin ng excise at saka privilege. Okay, so kapag nakita mo, wala sa choices ang privilege at saka excise, anong sagot yan? Excise tax lang. Okay? Kasi para sa atin, ang excise tax applies to excisable articles. Okay? Kapag excisable articles, excise tax dapat. Kapag practice of a privilege, privilege tax dapat. Okay? So, yan ang ibig sabihin dyan. Example niyan, estate tax, di ba? Tsaka donor's tax. Ang tinatax natin is the right of a person to transmit his property to another person. Okay? So, yan ang privilege tax. Marami pa yan. So, ayan. As to incidents, sino ba magbabayad yan? Pwedeng direct yan or indirect. Direct, ikaw mismo. Indirect, pwede mong shift. As to amount, specific ad valorem. Pag sinabing specific, alam mo na kagad kung magkano yung impose na tax. Makapag ad valorem, kailanganin natin ng karaniwan ng mga appraiser. Alamin kung magkano halaga tapos we impose the tax. Okay. Yung sa doon sa cigarettes natin, sa excise tax natin, meron ng mga excisable article like cigarettes. Meron na siyang specific tax. Tignan mo yung excise tax materials natin. Meron siyang specific tax. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, 20 pesos per pack. Tapos meron pa siyang 6%. Okay, incremental every year. 'Di ba? May specific na med valorem pa. Pero kung halimbawa, yung iba naman ad valorem lang. Pag sinabing ad valorem, literally according to value. As to rate, pwedeng ang tax rate pwedeng proportional or flat. 25%, 6%, 8%, 12%, 3%. Yan ang mga proportional. Pwedeng progressive. Alam mo na to. Kaya nga tayo merong graduated tax table. Pwedeng regressive. Pero sa atin, bawal yan. Sir, bakit? Constitutional limitation. Ang sa kalagay sa Constitution, kailangan daw progressive tax system lang tayo. Pwede ring mixed. Kaya pala yung individual, di ba may 8%? Tapos minsan, may graduated. Okay, so accounting methods. Alam mo na to. Okay, the basis of, as far as taxation is concerned, ano to, nire-recognize ng tax code natin ng mga methods. So you can use accrual basis, you can use cash basis. Pero kapag sinabi ng tax code natin, ito yung gagamitin mo, yun ang gagamitin mo. Okay, you can use completion of contract basis, percentage of completion. Okay, installment basis, halimbawa ito yung ibig sabihin. Halimbawa, you are a taxpayer. Dealer ka ng mga sasakyan, nagbebenta ka ng mga bahay at lupa. Installment yun. Anong method ang gagamitin mo? Natural installment basis. Sir, pwede ba ako mag-cash basis? Kahit mag-cash basis ka pa, pwedeng apply ni BIR ang installment basis. Bakit? Ito yung sabi ng tax code. Yan, crop year for farmers yan. Okay, so ayun, for farmers. Now, approval tayo. Exception, pwede kang gumamit ng ibang method. Yung, ayan, mga pinagbabanggit natin kanina. Pero, if the tax code requires a particular method to be used, yun dapat ang gagamitin mo. Example nga, installment basis kanina. Okay? Alam ka naman mag-crop parang gano'n. Sir, paano pag naging accrual? Tigas naman ng akulo Pag sinabi nga ng tax code yun ang gamitin, yun dapat gamitin. Pag gumamit ka ng iba, the revenue officer can compute your income and your expense under the method prescribed by the tax code. I call that accounting period. Dalawa lang to, calendar at fiscal. Okay? Kapag calendar, December 31, ito yung mnemonic mo. No FB, no PM, me. Okay, sino pwedeng gumamit ng calendar? Kapag walang annual accounting period, calendar yan. Sir, example po ng mga taxpayer na walang annual accounting period. Halimbawa, yung mga farmers, minsan kapag naka-harvest na sila, 3 months, tapos na yung kanila accounting period. Anong gagamitin? Calendar. Oh, ano ba? No method. Hindi malaman kung accrual siya or cash basis siya or installment. Dito, sorry. Wala talaga siyang method na ginagamit. Dito naman, gumamit nga siya ng method, it does not clearly reflect the income. O, di ba? Halimbawa, sabi natin, installment ka dapat, pero ginamit mo, crap year. In measuring your income, calendar gagamitin ng BIR. O, kapag individual ka, natural, alam mo na to dapat, yan ay calendar. Kapag fiscal naman, other than December 31 yan. Can you change your method? Syempre naman. Pero kung individual ka, hindi ka pwede maging fiscal. Okay? BIR approvals required. Okay, the 60-day period, no? We have to kailangan ano natin 'yan. Sundan natin 'yan. Example, May 31 ka dati. Gusto mo mag December 31. Kung mag-a-apply tayo ngayon, meron tayong more than 60 days. Pinagbabawalan within the 60-day period. Halimbawa, December 31, no? May 31 tayo fiscal year. Gusto mo maging calendar. Yung December 31, paatras, 60 days. Okay, so ibig sabihin, November 1. Kapag November 1 ka nag-apply, onwards, hanggang December 31, i-deny yan. Bakit? Bawal yung 60-day period. Bakit? To give the BIR ample time for them to approve your application. So yung October naman, ayun, before the 60-day period yan, yan ang ibig sabihin, allowed kang mag-apply ng change of accounting period. Okay? Sir, pwede bang kahit sa practice, pwede bang kahit hindi 60 days yan? Pwede. No? Kung i-approve ka agad the BIR, allowed naman yan. Okay, powers of the commissioner and the BIR, madali ito. Powers of the BIR, simple lang, assessment and collection. Yan ang power na pinaka-power ni BIR. Now, si commissioner, eto. Siyempre, meron siyang power to interpret. Ang power of interpretation niya, issuance of RMC, o kaya mga rulings. Okay? Anong meron kapag hindi pabor sa atin ang desisyon, appeal to the Secretary of Department of Finance? Merong power to decide disputed tax assessment si Commissioner. Di ba? Merong LOA, merong NOD, merong PAN, merong FLD fund. Prinotesta mo, anong tawag doon? Disputed assessment. Kapag dininay ni Commissioner yung protest mo, saan ka aakyat? Di ba kapag pag si Commissioner ang nag-decide, CTA ka kaagad. Kapag si Regional Director ang nag-decide, dalawang pupuntahan mo. Pwede kang umakyat kay Commissioner, request for reconsideration, pwede kang umakyat kay Court of Tax Appeals, judicial appeal yan, petition for review. Pag dininay tayo ni Commissioner, saan tayo pwede pumunta? Court of Tax Appeals. Ayun yun. Okay? Di ba? Pinag-aaralan mo to, nasa materials mo to. Kapag ang taxpayer ay nag-refund, pagkatapos dininay ni Commissioner, saan napunta mo? Court of Tax Appeals. Bakit? Kasi nga, yan na yung bagong process natin. Mamaya, meron tayong new rules regarding refund. Okay? Punto natin dito, number 3. Sumobra ka ng bayad, kanino ka magre-refund? Di kay Commissioner. Bakit? Siya yung may kapangyarihan eh. Pwede ka ba mag-refund kay President? Hindi. Bakit? Wala siyang power. Merong reklamo ka sa mission order, sa letter of authority. Kanino ka magreklamo? Kay Commissioner. Bakit? Meron siyang power to decide. Pag hindi pabor sa iyo, saan ka pupunta? Ayun, akit ka kay Court of Tax Appeals. Decisions of the Commissioner yan. Kaya pwede mong i-apela doon. Meron kapangyarihan si Commissioner na manguha ng impormasyon. Okay? Privilege daw ang usapan ng mga accountant at kliyente. Exception. Pwedeng kunin ang impormasyon sa mga kahit kanino pa basta SCLLL. Ano yan? Sinabi na ka. Natural, kailangan mong i-provide the information. Bakit? Makukulong ka eh. Makakasuhan ka eh. Dito, in perpetration of contemplation of crime. Natural. kailangan mong i-provide yung information kapag hindi, accessory ka o kaya ano ka rin, co-conspirator ka din. Required by law. Sinabi ng batas, you are to provide the information, and then you're to provide. O, meron kang legal right or duty. Ito na yung code of ethics natin. Oh, natural, lifeblood doctrine daw. So, in all of these cases, pwedeng i-provide ang information. Oh, si Commissioner, pwede kanyang isaman. Okay? Ang kanyang power is exercised through issuance of subpoena. Kapag mag-audit siya, syempre dapat may tinatawag notice of audit. Ano nga yung notice of audit? It can be a LOA, it can be a TBN. Okay? So, parehas ang effect ng LOA at saka TBN. It grants the revenue officer to the authority to examine the records of a taxpayer. Okay? Kapag merong LOA, merong TBN, bawal na mag-amend ng return. Ano naman tong LN? Aba, ang LN basically is just a third-party information. No? Halimbawa, seller, nagbenta ng 1,000,000, buyer, bumili ng 1,000,000. Kapag sino ang hindi nag-declare, dati na-issue ng letter notice yan. Yung mga tatrabaho na ngayon, ito na yung source ng third-party information, TPI. Okay, yan yung basihan ni BIR ng mga assessments, di ba? Kapag nagpa-practice ka na, alam mo yung sinasabi ko. So, what's the impact of LN? LN is not equivalent to a law. Protesta yan ni taxpayer, meaning the information, no, in the LN, the remedy of the government has to convert the LN into a LOA. Yun ang proseso. Okay? You are barred from amending your return. Okay, meron din kapangyarihan manguha ng testimony si Commissioner, mag-canvas, meron din siyang power to assess and collect. Ayun. O, tandaan mo ang prescription period. Assessment, ordinary. Dito, assessment, the BIR has 3 years within which to issue an assessment. Ano yung recording period ng 3 years? From the date of filing of the return or deadline, whichever is later. Sir, paano yung income tax tsaka VAT? Magkaiba ng deadline? Okay, kapag na-issue na kapag merong fraud or falsity naman, the BIR can assess up to 10 years from the date of discovery. So, ibig sabihin ng assess, mag-issue ng formal letter of demand, ha? Okay, ngayon, kapag natapos na-issue na yung FLD fund, tapos na yung assessment process. So, collection na yan. Kapag there's no fraud or falsity, 3 years from the issuance of the FLD fund. Yan ang reckoning period. From the issuance, sulat mo. Okay? Halimbawa, na-assess tayo 3 years. After issuance of the FLD fund, collection period na kagad yan. So, merong 3 years to collect si BIR. Sir, paano pag lumampas sa 3 years na? Prescribe. Okay, dito naman, kapag merong fraud or falsity, collection period is 5 years. Again, recon from the date of issuance of FLD fund. Okay, tandaan mo ha, ang prescription is one of the modes of extinguishing an obligation. Tapos, the BIR, si Commissioner, meron din siyang power to assess based on BEO, best evidence obtainable. Anong meron dito? Bakit best evidence obtainable ang gagamitin? Kasi walang dokumento. Bakit wala? Kasi una, pwedeng nawawala. Number 2, pwedeng false or fraudulent. Number 3, pwedeng wala talaga, nawawala mga dokumento. Not forthcoming ang mga documents. Anong gagawin? Alangan namang antayin. So, pwede mag-assess ng BEO. So, what are the elements again in relation to the discussion on remedies? Ayan, dapat may LOA, dapat may subpoena. Dapat merong criminal action. Kapag wala ang isa dyan, absent any of this, okay, anong meron? Violation of due process, the assessment is void. Okay, ano nga yung kakaso rito? Failure to obey summons and or contempt. Okay, ano yung mga different types of assessments under best evidence obtainable? Based on estimate. In-assess ka na nung nakaraan, 2 taon, yung average, i-average yung deficiency. O kaya, ito yung pinaka-common. Titignan yung FS mo. Kung magkano ang mga expenses mo, cash 50%, nasa materials natin yan. Okay? Pero pag input tax, walang 50%. 100% ang input disallowance. Natural, source of input tax credit yun eh. Pwedeng network method. Titignan yung grabe, hindi mo masabi kung saan galing ang pera mo. Dati lang mahirap, pero tapos biglang yaman. Yan yun, network method. Tapos expense method, titignan yung gastos mo. Hala, ganito lang ang sweldo nito, pero kung makagastos, akala mo, nagpiprint ng pera. Ayan, pwedeng i-assess yan. BEO, expense method. Okay, si Commissioner, meron din siya power na gumawa ng return mo. Okay? Or i-amend ang return mo. O kaya, hindi pa sinin ang return mo. Tandaan mo, amendment ng return ha, within 3 years lang. Pero kapag merong LOA na, bawal ka na mag-amend. Okay? Tapos, mayroong mission order. Kailan ginagamit ni Commission ang mission order? Ayan, nakalagay dito. Merong mission order kapag inventory stock taking. Sa mga nagtatrabaho dito, ito yung reason kung bakit tayo required mag-submit ng inventory lists. Every year, January 30, nakapila ka sa BIR, di ba? Bakit? Para kung halimbawa, nagkamali ng declaration, the BIR can use that as basis in assessment. Okay, nagbilang sila, tapos binalikan ang history mo, kinompare sa inventory list mo. So, ayan. So, dapat may mission order. Ano pa? Sa surveillance, pwedeng covert. Okay, pwedeng overt. At ang pinaka-common ngayon, TCBD, tax mapping ang tawag dyan. Anong ibig sabihin ng tax compliance? Titignan ni BIR, ang alin? Baliktarin mo yung BIR. Ang registration mo, R. Titignan kung rehistrado ka. Titignan ang invoice. Kung meron kang invoice, at saka, nag-i-issue ka ba ng invoice? At saka B, bookkeeping. Meron ka bang records? Updated ba yung records mo? Rehistrado ba ang libro mo? Yan ang mga tinitignan. Kapag nakita na nila na nag-comply ka, di ba nagdidikit ng sticker? Yan ang nakalagay dyan, BIR sticker. Yung mga nagtatrabaho dito, would definitely know what we mean here sa BIR sticker. Kaya ikaw, kung di ka pa nagtatrabaho, huwag mong itatapon yung materials mo na to. Gamit na gamit ito sa practice. Maniwala ka sa akin. Okay, so ayan. Dapat meron mong mission order dyan, ha? Ang mga target ngayon ni Commissioner, mga vape products. Ayan. Okay, presumptive gross sales, meron din siyang kapangyarihan, benchmarking ito. So kung halimbawa 1 million ang mga bentahan ng mga ganitong industry tapos ikaw 100,000, pwede ka ma-question. Ayan yun. Okay? To change accounting period, tapos na tayo dyan. The commissioner also can terminate the taxable period of a taxpayer. Ayan Tapos constructive distraint, pwede rin yan. Clorts, pag magsasara na, tatakas na, tinatago ng mga property, committing obstruction, pwedeng i-terminate yan. Pwede nang kunin ng mga properties, constructive distraint. Bakit kukunin ng properties? For the protection of the government. Meron din power to prescribe real estate value, zonal valuation. Take note of the RP Vara law. By this year, this will be fully implemented already. Okay, di ba merong BIR zonal, merong assessor fair market value. Ngayon, pag-iisahin na yan under RP Vara, Real Property Valuation and Assessment Reform Act. Yan yon. Okay, so schedule of market value na ang gagamitin. Okay, tapos merong isang unit created under the law, sila yung magde-determine kung magkano yung market value. Okay, in the meantime, habang wala pa, kailangan mong alamin ang rules regarding zonal valuation. Kailangan kapag mag-i-increase sila, okay, si BIR, may payer, due notice yan. Kailangan i-publish yung mga zonal values na bago in the province only or city or municipality concerned. Okay, hindi yan halimbawa, you are from Cebu or publish. Hindi naman kailangan na Philippine Daily Inquirer or Philippine Star. Pero kung doon, okay lang din. Kasi ang minimum requirement dapat in the province, city, or municipality concerned. Ang ginagawa ng BIR minsan sa munisipyo, dinidikit ang mga kailangan ng basihan, pati mga records dapat available. Okay, para kung halimbawa may magtatanong about hindi, joke lang, zonal value, kailangan available yan. Okay, automatic adjustments once every 3 years. Si Commissioner has no power to inquire to the bank deposits of taxpayer. Pero kung sakasakali, pwede niyan tignan kung estate yan, kung nag-apply ka ng compromise settlement, financial capacity, sabi mo wala kang pera o kaya exchange of information pursuant to international convention or agreement. Si commissioner, ang ina-accredit niya hindi lang CPA, pwedeng non-CPA din. Kaya yung mga hindi pumasa na hindi pinalad, okay, since meron silang background sa accounting, nagiging bookkeeper, naglalakad ng mga BIR audit, nagpapa-accredit sila. So, pwede rin. At saka yung mga lawyers din. Okay? Meron siyang power to change the venue of the filing, EOPT, file anywhere tayo. Okay, meron kong power to compromise at saka abate. Alam mo na to, doubtful validity, financial incapacity pag compromise. Abatement naman, unjust. Hindi makatarungan yung assessment. Hala, parang very recent, meron akong isang kliyente, 200 million ang kanyang gross sales. Ang assessment ni BIR, 800 million. Hala, paano nangyari yon? Kaya sabi ko dun sa taxpayer, huwag kang mag-alala, pabayaan mo lang si BIR. Bakit? Siguradong sigurado ako, uh, subject to cancellation yan. Erroneous. Mali. Excessive yung assessment. Gross sales 200 million, utang 800 million. Hala. Meron din power to close business. Si Commissioner, natural. Offline kandado yan. Minimum 5 days closure, ha? Sir, paano pag binayaran ng full? Sarado ka pa rin. Bakit? Penalty mo yan, nadaya ka eh. Okay, so kahit bayad ka na ha, pwede ka pang isara. Rate, alam mo na dapat to. Tinanong na sa board exam, what is rate? What is rate about? About tax evasion yan. Yung RAF naman, about ghost receipts, fake transactions yan eh. Okay, meron ding power to allocate income and deduction si commissioner. Meron natural, di niya kaya. Pwede niyang i-delegate ang kanyang kapangyarihan, etc. etc. Etong mga hindi niya pwedeng i-delegate. Alin? Yung CAM4R, bahala ka. Ano yung C? Compromise. Ano yung A? Abate. Okay. Ano yung M? Modify ang ruling. Pwede niyang, ayun, hindi niya pwedeng i-delegate yung recommend ng promulgation ng revenue regulations, reverse, ruling. Ayan, hindi niya pwede. Okay? Exception, pwede naman yung compromise rebatement kung mababa lang yung halagang pinag-uusapan, 500,000 deficiency tax. Okay? Tsaka minor lang yung criminal violation. Example ng minor criminal violation, sulat mo dyan, failure to obey summons or contempt. Okay? Pwede rin niyang ilipat ang kanyang mga tauhan, natural. Kung special, isa lang dapat. Special someone. Kapag excisable article, parang exercise to, mas masaya kung dalawa kayo. Yan. Kaya nga, yun. 2 years. Kapag ikaw ay na-assign sa, pumasa ka na, pumasok ka sa BIR, ang tawag sa'yo, examiner or revenue officer assessment. RDO ang assignment mo. Kung medyo big time ka, large taxpayer service tayo. Not more than 3 years. RDO, 3 letters. Large taxpayer, 3 letters. 3 years ang niyan, ang reassignment. Pero minsan, lumalampas sa tuloy na buhay. Ay, natural, di kayang ni commissioner collector ng lahat. Kaya, meron siya mga deputy. Okay? Ayan. BIRE services, meron tayong e-reg system, meron tayong EFPS, EBIR forms sa mga nagtatrabaho, alam na yan. EAFS, sikat na sikat yan, lalo na nakaraan. Meron din tayong e-pay, meron tayong e-onet, okay, kung mga gumagamit ng mga sa nakasign in na dyan. Tapos ETSP, certificate system, at ang sikat na sikat ngayon dahil laging naglalag, ORUS. Okay, so online registration, so pwede ka mag-register dyan and update. Ibig sabihin ng update, pwedeng closure yan, pwedeng change ng address yan, okay, pwedeng mag-change ng tax type details, ayan ang mga OROS. Okay? O revenue regulation, batas ito si Secretary of Finance na nag-i-issue niyan. Revenue Memorandum Order, internal rules to, parating sinasabi natin, RMC dapat to, RMC, paltan mo yan, RMC. Okay, kaya nga circular, it's like notifying everyone, uy, may bagong batas na ngayon, ayun, kaya nga sinicirculate siya. O kaya ito, circular, pinapaalam yung interpretation ni Commissioner about this certain provision or law. Okay, pag meron siya clarification, ayan, sinicirculate yan. Kaya nga circular, pinapaalam sa lahat. Rulings, pag nag-request ka ng opinion to the commissioner, nag-issue siya, ayan, rulings ang tawag dyan. Administrative order, organizational structure yan. Delegation, natural R daw. Kapag si commissioner gusto niyang i-delegate ang kanyang isang power. Okay, so these are some of the notable laws, mga kapatid. Basahin mo lang yan. Okay, so I'll stop from here para at least you'll have time, no, to hindi ka mapagod masyado.